I'm so excited to try these watercolor markers. Thank you so much for the company KEMYR for sending these to me. 72 different colors is going to be so amazing. And look, they come in trays so that you can lay them all out and they don't roll all over your table. So I have all these trays out, and each tray also comes with this empty one for you to put water in. The carrying case is super nice, and then of course the fact that there is a legend of all the colors that you get. These tips are really nice because I can choose whether I want to do a very thin line, like a very thin line, or I can press harder and get a thicker line. I can see these being really nice for calligraphy because you can adjust the thickness of the line by changing the pressure. Now I didn't push too hard, I got some nice color and did not get much bleed through onto the back. But just like actual watercolors, I can also control the intensity of the color. So I can do one pass and it's a little bit lighter, or I can go over it many times and deposit more color. The downside of that is, I'm going to flip this over, but like here, where I'm going to go over it several times. When we flip it over, you can definitely tell where I did multiple passes in the bleed through. But if you don't go too crazy with the multiple passes, then it doesn't bleed through. Also to note, I'm just using like regular coloring paper. This is a little bit thicker than copy paper, but it is not watercolor paper. So that just gives you a little bit of information in terms of the bleed through. If I was using like lined notebook paper, it probably would bleed through. I think honestly my favorite part is these trays, because that is so nice to be able to store them, and when I can lay them all out on my table and they don't all roll around. Okay, lastly, we're gonna check on the color blending. So let's start with this nice dark pink. And I just pressed very lightly on that. So like if we want to make some ombre effects. And then I filled this with water. Heads up, I had a hard time because this actually spins the opposite way of what you would expect. So I had to lefty tighty and righty loosey it. Let's see what happens when I add water to it. Okay, so you can definitely see it blended it very nicely. That looks kind of nice too, actually, but with the water, it did push it through. A little bit of the color leached onto the brush, but you do get 3 of these. There's 1 in each tray. Overall, these are super nice markers for coloring, for calligraphy, for drawing, for regular watercolor painting. And the price is unbeatable for 72 markers. So I would definitely recommend this.